get to the topic.
Oh, we did.
Let's talk about buttered sausages, how they're made. What's up with them?
No. How about no?
How about no, Scott?
Yeah, for real. How about no?
What is the next subject, though? Do I have to go find that PDF form?
Tomorrow, the Supreme Court's set to hear a case on birthright citizenship. President Trump is trying to change it with an executive order. He doesn't want it to apply to babies born in the U.S. to undocumented immigrants. The 14th Amendment states, quote, persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. The Trump administration argues the jurisdiction part empowers his executive order. Critics argue changing birthright citizenship would be logistically challenging. They say U.S. citizens might end up having to document their children's immigration status.
I don't like. How do we touch? Oh,
I'm your host, Christina Evans. Again, we do want to continue to cover some of these top stories that we're going to be watching. Putting this up on your screen there from Reuters, as tomorrow is going to be a very big day for the Supreme Court. They're going to be weighing whether or not President Trump's executive order seeking to end birthright citizenship is going to withstand constitutional and legal muster. Of course, this is a case that tests a key aspect of the president's second-term immigration agenda. This case, known as Trump versus Barbara, questions if President Trump's order that was issued back on his first day back in the White House is in violation of the 14th Amendment's citizenship clause and federal immigration law. So to talk a lot more about what we may hear from the court tomorrow, an immigration attorney, Shushan Modi. Shushan, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox.
Hi, thanks for having me back on, Christina. Good to see you.
Of course, there's so much conversation like this. Very big day for the Supreme Court tomorrow. But there might be folks at home who have been talking or maybe even listening into those conversations about birthright citizenship who aren't exactly clear on what that is and is tied to the 14th Amendment. Can you break that down for us first?
Sure. So the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, it was ratified in 1868. So to give us an idea of this, what it says is all persons born in the United States, subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are U.S. citizens. And so the key element here is what does it mean to be subject to the jurisdiction thereof? And that's the key point that the Supreme Court is going to look at. Now, historically speaking, just to take a step back, everyone born in the United States has been deemed to be a U.S. citizen, except for very, very limited or narrow exceptions. Think of like diplomats, for example, born here aren't U.S. citizens, or Native American Indians. But other than that, historically speaking, for over a century, over 125 years,
someone's got some house crickets.
If you're born in the United States, you're a U.S. citizen, despite your parents' immigration status.
All right, we certainly appreciate you breaking that down because that is the center of this entire discussion.
Wait. Who? Are you kidding me? Change your bet. Where's Chris go? I know he's here still.
And Shushan, when it comes to tomorrow, the Supreme Court, they're going to be hearing these oral
your parents' immigration status.
All right, we certainly appreciate you breaking that down because that is the center of this entire discussion. And Shushan, when it comes to tomorrow, the Supreme Court, they're going to be hearing these oral arguments. What's at the center of this when the court is being asked to decide? What's the specific legal question there?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. It's going to be that specific statement of how the Supreme Court interprets subject to this jurisdiction thereof. I mean, even if we just look at a common example of it, it doesn't talk about the plain language of the U.S. Constitution. It doesn't talk about anything related to the parents. So it doesn't say, subject to the parents being permanently living here. So if we look at like the plain language reading of it, which a lot of conservative justices do, it doesn't speak about the parents' domicile. And then, of course, there's the famous ARC case that you had posted earlier. And that's the seminal case. That's the crucial case that's interpreted that provision of the 14th Amendment.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was a landmark case that happened back in the 1800s.
Yeah, you know what's even funnier about it, too? The obvious green screen behind that guy.
What'd you do?
I'm done.
What? Playing the ceiling bird?
The guy that they were interviewing had house crickets, and he had an obvious ass green screen behind him.
Wait, house crickets?
Yes.
Are you talking about the smoke detector?
Yes.
That's called a ceiling bird, bro. Like, the ceiling bird is what African Americans pray to.
Oh, I've heard it called that too, yes.
Yeah, they gotta pray to it to get it to stop singing. What do you got on you?
Guys.
I thought, wait, that was Monkey playing it the whole time.
Oh my word. Are you serious?
Oh no, no, that's what it was. See, I knew it. The Jew disappears, and then the down ceiling bird stops singing. It disappears, and then he comes back and it's not singing anymore.
No, just the way the way he was sitting in like clearly an empty room with a green screen.
Yeah, that was funny as hell.
He was in the perfect fucking acoustics for this to sound fucking legit.
Oh my word.
You hear that, Chris? You heard that noise? That's the music of your. It's the music of your people.
Monkey also just did
Yeah.
it perfectly that it seemed like it was coming from the video. So
No, like I thought it was Monkey doing it at first, but then you said it was the video. I'm like, wait a minute.
well, I thought it was Monkey at first, but then the way it like stopped when they cut to the interview at one point and everything, like cut back to the anchors and stuff, and then continued when he came back on screen. I was like, wait a minute. Because then I'd also noticed the green screen, and I was like, oh no.
Budget.
Hello.
It just fit too
I have to wait
perfectly
for
to
somebody
it
else
would have
to
just
wait here before we
been,
can go
you know.
upstairs.
Wait,
So I don't
wait,
mind
wait,
waiting
wait.
out here.
Is
there a
he
number
picking
I
up a
can
body?
call? You can-
Hey, are you picking up a body?
Yeah.
Ah.
Tell me they heard us say that.
Are you picking up a fucking body?
Yeah, but I mean that's just the security guard. And that's what I was trying to tell you guys. I'm at a building and I gotta pick up a body real quick, so I'm gonna leave again for a few minutes, but I'll come back once I have the body.
Yeah, where's your
Oh,
yarmulke?
okay.
You're not allowed in with your. Oh, you got your yarmulke on,
Just got it on.
bro. Yes. Oh, the music of your people's playing. You are unstoppable, bro.
I mean, this is literally for Levitt Weinstein, the Jewish funeral home. So
Oh. Yeah, well, there you go.
Weinstein. That's my dog too. Me and him, J-Eps used to hang out all the time, bro.
Gay apps or J apps?
J-Eps, dog.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
The gay Eps is Palm Beach Pete.
so yeah, let me I'll be with you guys in a minute.
Well,
Alright.
Pete apparently has children, but I swear he seems like he's gay from his videos.
I think you may be right. Like something tells me he's a pee-pee toucher. He gives off that dick eater energy, you know. So on the birthright
Are
citizenship.
we, we're
what-
gonna
That was
touch
a
the
bit
14th
specific.
Amendment at all?
Yeah, let's get on the 14th Amendment, which a lot of people don't understand apparently.
well, yeah, let's. Hey,
You want to
I
explain
don't.
So
Yeah,
people are confusing how the 14th Amendment when it's they think that people that have become citizens through the regular legal processes are affected by it.
No.
Oh.
Oh, a lot of people do
Like-
because they were questioning, oh, well, what's going to happen to Trump's children? Wasn't his wife an immigrant? Weren't his parents immigrants? And I'm like, do
No,
you people
w-
just
once you're
not understand
naturalized-
what the 14th Amendment
Once you're
is?
naturalized, you're a citizen.
Right, exactly.
Like, but like even if that were the case, like even if that like it like we weren't talking about a naturalized citizen, even if Melania was still an immigrant, if Barron was born on U.S. soil, he would still be a citizen. Now, granted, we're not talking about the past. If we're gonna like, I don't know, I'm hoping we're not talking about ripping away birthright citizenship from individuals that have been here for what 18 what I don't know how many years, but their parents are illegal, but they're legal. I don't think we should rip that away from them. But do I think we should continue doing that? Absolutely not. Like we don't need to constantly have these people coming over here popping out kids, and then just because they popped out a kid, they get to stay here. Like no, that
Right.
has been an argument for a long time, and like that has been an issue for a long time. But if a naturalized citizen gives birth to a kid here, there should be no question about if that kid is a citizen. Like, and I say that, and as much as I hate Donald Trump and I laugh at Barron, no, his kid should not be subject to anything like that. He's a citizen. Like, and I don't know why people actually believe that like
I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think what he's trying to solve for is people just coming here to get married.
Yeah, no, like that's also a thing too. Like, yeah, no, like there's certain like little loopholes that kind of need to stop.
Because
But
that's
like,
that
but if
is
you
like
look, if you spend the money and you go over to fucking Thailand or whatever, and you pick yourself up a nice little Asian hooker, you should be able to bring her back here. But I mean, at least they're not Mexican.
I mostly agree. If somebody's been born here and been here for a while, already been a citizen for a while and everything, as long as they have assimilated as an American citizen, like they're
Ah,
not, because
that's it.
well, what do you mean that's it?
No,
If
I'm saying
you're
that's it. No, that's
yeah.
a good point.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
no,
as
no.
long as they're assimilated with the culture, with the country, then that's fine. But I do believe it should be allowed to be put into question the people that came here, had children, and then indoctrinated them to be anti-American.
Yeah, it doesn't
because
make sense
they
to come
were.
here. It doesn't make sense to come here if you're anti-American. That's my first thing.
What do you mean? The point is to subvert the country from the inside.
Yeah, but my thing is like, there's no like. What I'm saying is like,
it shouldn't be allowed.
you know, there's no point to having people who come here.
Right. Okay,
applying
I
for
agree
American
with that.
citizenship.
I
Yeah,
agree with that. It
that's
shouldn't
what
be
I meant by
allowed
that.
for them to come here.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like it. Everybody, we see.
But
that would
let's
also
talk
be
on
kind
that
of
real. Let's talk on that real fast, because you remember the attack on the synagogue previously.
Which one?
The
one in Michigan,
I think that's what it was.
or
Michigan,
was the one in
Monkey.
Texas
Hold
with the
on.
guy, the free Iran?
We're gonna actually talk about it later, but it was in I think Minnesota.
It ties into this. It ties into this topic because of the fact that that guy, his parents, or he came over and became a legal citizen back in 2016 from
never mind, it was Michigan.
Lebanon.
So the guy was from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He was from Michigan. He's lived there since 26. He's lived in America since 2016 as a legal citizen, but he came over from Lebanon.
Yeah, and that's not one of those countries. What the fuck? We usually screen for terrorist shit. Usually, I don't think.
Which
Nowadays,
well, I think
nowadays probably, but back in the day.
Yeah, because Hezbollah's there.
Yeah, but like you know, maybe I'm wrong, and I hate having to say that, but like, yeah, granted, I know Hezbollah has been an issue in Lebanon, but like, I feel like Lebanon was one of those countries we gave a lot of leeway to when it comes to their immigration, like immigrants here, until probably recently.
No, that's
really
not the case, because do you remember Trump's ban on
the Muslim ban? Was Lebanon a part of that?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Lebanon was a part of that.
Yeah, so Lebanon is where Hezbollah is based out of.
Benghazi? Do you remember Benghazi?
Yeah, it was in Libya.
Oh, yeah, never mind. That wasn't Libya. That wasn't Libya.
Yeah. I do remember. No, I remember the Marine Corps base bombing, or was that Jordan? I don't remember.
That I think that was it. That was.
I think it may have been Jordan.
But I think that was in the Lebanese border.
Yeah, I know there was an attack on Lebanon in Lebanon at one point. I don't.
And then
think the
embassy over there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was Hezbollah or Black September or Muslim Brotherhood. I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. But
here's where it becomes an issue with like the 14th Amendment part, though. This guy that did the synagogue attack with his truck and everything, he did marry someone here and had 2 children with her. Huh. And they only divorced last year.
What the fuck?
Are you kidding me?
So And he called her before ramming the church, saying that he was going to commit an attack.
Yeah,
She was the one who dialed 911 to flag his mental state and everything. But what did he teach his kids?
You know what? Since we're gonna jump it and it makes sense, let's give.
Bro, what the
Slendy-
fuck was that on your little what is Slendy? No, what is that? What is that?
It's my reel of memes.
No,
My reel of memes.
no. Was that Kanye?
Yes, it was.
Oh, see,
It was
Based
Yeezus.
on the evidence gathered to date, we assess this attack to be a Hezbollah-inspired act of terrorism, purposely targeting the Jewish community and the largest Jewish temple in Michigan. The FBI defines terrorism as a violent criminal act by an individual who is inspired by or associated with a designated foreign terrorist organization. We do not make this characterization lightly without a thorough review and keen evaluation of the facts. In this case, the evidence shows the attacker was motivated and inspired by Hezbollah's militant ideology. Although the assailant's attack planning and mobilization to violence began in earnest on March 9th, which I will fully detail here shortly, a review of his online activities since January 2026 revealed a reoccurring search history of pro-Hezbollah news channels, Iranian news channels, and videos about shootouts and bullets. He regularly consumed breaking news and statements and live
Brandon,
coverage of the current Secretary
I told you you're
General
gonna be on a
of
list.
Hezbollah, Naim Qassem,
probably.
and viewed news coverage about an Iranian fatwa for total jihad against the U.S. military. We are very grateful that aside from the assailant, there were no additional fatalities. However, this evidence makes very clear the attacker intended to cause significant amounts of harm to the members and the children present at Temple Israel that day. At this stage of the investigation, we've continued to find no evidence of co-conspirators, nor do we have information that indicates a current and active threat to the community at this time. Based on the evidence
from the FBI out of Michigan, the agency in just the last couple of hours saying that truck.
Can I just mention real? Oh wait, you know what? Let her finish.
Was
Go
a
first.
Hezbollah-inspired act of terrorism. 10
See if they
minutes
mention
before
it
the
here.
attack, officials say the attacker sent this final message in a video. Watch how it's described.
in Arabic, he records himself saying with this screenshot, "This is the largest gathering of Israelis in the state of Michigan, in the United States. I have booby-trapped the car. I will forcibly enter and start shooting them. God willing, I will kill as many of them as I possibly can."
Officials say the suspect rammed the truck into the synagogue back in March. Remember that, which set part of the building on fire. We showed it to you that day. The suspect died by suicide during a gunfight with security. One guard was hurt in the attack, but is expected to make a full recovery. The synagogue has now just in recent days posted a picture, several pictures actually online showing the aftermath of the attack, the charred hallways. Look at this, photographs that are melted off the wall. This is a children's center here with glass shattered on the floor and more. Officials say several members of the attacker's family had died in an Israeli airstrike in Lebanon just a week before the attack. Shaquille Brewster is following this one.
Okay.
Fill us in on what else
They
officials
did
have said,
mention
'cause
it.
this-
There we
there
go.
have been from the jump questions around
Well, they
motive
kind
here.
of
It was,
mentioned
I think,
it,
very
right.
quickly dubbed as a suspected act of terror, and now there's these new details.
New details and really key messages that were sent between this suspect and sent from this suspect in the minutes before the attack. Literally, Hallie, as he was sitting in that parking lot in that pickup truck full of explosives for nearly 2 hours. Officials say, and the FBI saying that he sent about 19 different messages to his sister who lives in Lebanon, talking about ideas of being a martyr, talking about videos and sharing videos from Hezbollah leaders. There's even an image, a meme of the Israeli flag and Hezbollah lettering and coloring over that flag. The message from officials is that this is someone who wanted to kill as many people as possible, that he even searched ahead of the attack, looking for when people would be gathering for lunch in that synagogue. Listen to what we heard from the U.S. attorney during that press conference earlier today.
His death was just a means or a tool to kill as many Jews as he could. That's why his last statements were that he was on a special operation to kill as many of them as he possibly can.
So it was
The
special
U.S. attorney
military
going on to
operation.
say that had this suspect survived this attack, he would likely be charged and convicted with providing material support to a terrorist organization. We should also note that officials said there is no evidence. They have gathered no evidence that anyone else was involved or that there were any other targets in this attack, Hallie.
Do they
So
have any sense
one
of the advanced
thing
planning on the attack?
they mentioned was his family, or part of his family, was killed in a strike. They don't mention that it was his brother that was killed, who was Iranian, who was not Iranian, but a Hezbollah military leader.
Huh. Yeah, well, what's that thing we always say in the United States when someone gets shot by a cop? Fuck around and find out.
Well, that's just when somebody does something stupid and finds out in general.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, dude, if you're gonna be part of like an actual terrorist organization, you become a military combatant, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Therefore, yeah, like it's like I wouldn't. Matter of fact, if you're part of a terrorist organization, you should know you don't get the treatment of like a warfighter. You get the treatment of just a common fucking murderer. Granted, whether you agree with that or not, I mean, people will have their opinions, but that is the way it is, and that should be something everyone accepts, even family members. But yeah, no, like that's the kind of shit. You know, that is why there needs to be proper vetting of people coming into the country. That is why people who do come in and who are in the process of being naturalized need to be paid close attention to. And I'm not saying like, knocks on the doors, watch what they're doing every day, but like no, like what was said in the video, if you bring someone from one of those countries and their internet search history is turning up that kind of stuff, you should probably not let them become naturalized. You should probably give them a notice to leave. I'm just saying it's common sense at that point.
Indeed.
I bet I've been on mute, but I agree. I agree.
I mean, it's hard. Like, dude, it's just like there's certain common sense issues like that should not be even a question, and I don't know how. I hate to say it, but I don't know how we got to the point of, questioning that kind of shit. Like, why aren't we allowed to? Why are we even questioning shit that, is just standard, like, homeland defense, if you will?
Because a lot of the progressive and liberal agenda over the years has been more about welcoming immigrants into the country.
Oh yeah, but it's not 1920 something with people showing up at Ellis Island on boats looking for like a better life and actually coming here and inventing things and doing fucking shit like that.
Of course, but it's a sense of an over-realized sense of moral justice or something that they seem to, because look at the judges letting criminals go. That apparently the one that let the guy that murdered Irina Zelnik was just a magistrate judge.
Wait, was it the black guy that murdered the Russian girl on the train?
The Ukrainian girl, yes.
Yeah, the Ukrainian girl on the bus or train or whatever.
The Ukrainian refugee.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, dude, this is just common sense bullshit. Like, it just. And where was this guy from again?
The guy was from America. He was just psychotic and everything. But I'm just saying, it's part of the progressive liberal agenda over the years of being softer on people that are more wanting to do harm. So they don't want to look into background checks. That's why they say the whole type of stuff of IDing and everything like that is racist. All this stuff.
All right. How about this?
You spoke about your family leaving segregation and injustice in South Africa. The Knesset overnight really passed a new law which would apply the death penalty to Palestinians who commit murder in the West Bank. That law wouldn't apply equally to Israelis who murder Palestinians in the West Bank. What do you say to human rights organizations that say policies like this that apply unequally are policies of apartheid? And what do you say to Australians who perhaps have had historical affinity for Israel, but who see policies like this, they see what's happened in Gaza, and they say they don't feel that these are two countries with shared values anymore?
Okay. I grew up in South Africa. I walked the streets and I saw benches which said on them for whites only. I saw buses which said for blacks only. That was a reality that I grew up in South Africa. And then I moved to Israel. And I found a society where you've got Arabs, Christians, and Jews who live side by side in peace and harmony. We have approximately 2 million Israeli Arabs in Israel who serve on the Supreme Court, who serve in the Knesset. The third largest party in the Knesset is the Arab Party. Name one country in the Middle East that Jews can run as a party and serve in the parliament, or you find Jews in such a situation. So I'm coming to, you have a separate population, which is termed by international media and others what we call Palestinians, or we call it the Arab population that has not accepted Israeli jurisdiction. They were offered, they could have accepted Israeli jurisdiction years ago. They decided not to, due to the fact that we have this separate population which is not part of the Israeli state because they will not wish not to be part of the Israeli state. We set up the Palestinian Authority. They are represented by the Palestinian Authority. They have Palestinian passports. They're a separate entity. There is no apartheid or separation within Israel amongst the citizens by religion or sex or race. All those who are members, who are citizens of Israel, have equal rights and equal opportunity. Many people serve in our Ministry of Foreign Affairs who are Arab, Druze, Christian.
Dude, we're like almost 3 minutes and he has not answered this question. Just wanted to let you know that.
Equal rights and equal opportunity in Israel.
They tend to do that. They tend to do that.
Which has chosen not to be part of Israel and are now under the jurisdiction of the Palestinian Authority, is a separate entity. Therefore, the law of Israel does not apply equally on Israelis or Palestinians who are not part of the state of Israel.
Including the death penalty.
Now, let's move to the death penalty. Decision went through the Knesset to instate the death penalty in Israel. Now, let me just clarify. There always was death penalty in Israel. It just wasn't implemented. There were only 2 cases in the history of Israel where they implemented the death penalty. One of them was Eichmann, the Nazi. It was always there, but it was not implemented due to the restraint that Israel acted on this issue. Israel is very careful, and Israel is a human rights state, is very careful not, we know that mistakes can be made in capital punishment. But we reached a situation where you have terrorists on your border, terrorists crossing the border, attacking communities, and the usual punishment is no deterrent because they believe, first of all, they get released in exchanges of prisoners. They then attack again in order to exchange prisoners. So we understand that this is not a deterrence besides the ideological radical beliefs that they have, which are deranged. We needed extra deterrence. So the laws went through, which actually, again, I said, just like in the United States, in Japan, and in India, which have capital punishment. Israel has the right as a sovereign state to decide that it is implementing the capital punishment that it has. But safeguards were introduced in this legislation. The safeguards are the following. It preserves judicial discretion. In other words, the judicial branch of power can prohibit, block a decision of a capital punishment. Secondly, did not mandate automatic sentencing. I heard politicians here in Australia who were saying that Israel mandated capital punishment for Palestinians. It's not true. It does not mandate automatic sentencing. On top of that, it allows an appeal. Anyone can appeal. Once the decision has been made of capital punishment, they can appeal to the judicial branch of power. And as I said before, the judicial has the discretion to cancel.
5 minutes. And all he did was answer like the first part of that question, kind of. All right. I mean, fair. But, so guys, automatic death penalty for Palestinians that kill people in Israel.
For it.
Like, that's the fault.
Well, that should go both ways, actually.
Guys, you can hear me, right? Someone just called me, and usually my mic shuts off.
Nah.
All right, cool. Are you literally waving that flag around with the yarmulke on your head outside a Jewish funeral home, picking up a dead body?
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
Look,
I
my
support
proposal.
You, Chris.
My proposal for them is they should just bring back classic dueling.
Yo, he's on to something. But they have to slap the other person with a white glove.
To the death.
Yeah,
Well-
like no, not so, no. That's how you
Doesn't
challenge.
always have to be to the death, but I mean, sometimes it does end in death. You know, you each stand back to back. You have your pistol at the ready. Take 10 paces, turn and shoot.
And does it have to be flintlock though?
Yes. That's the only
There we
real way
go.
to do it.
Flintlock is
My
incredibly
man.
inaccurate. Yeah, you can't do
All
duels
right.
with modern weapons. They're way too accurate.
Yeah, I mean, you could use a blunderbuss.
One sec. Sorry, guys. Moving this
Yeah.
along.
I mean, if it's not a flintlock, it just has to at least be just a single fire weapon. But nothing of too great
I forgot
magnitude.
revolvers were a thing too. It could be a revolver too.
Yes.
But I prefer flintlock. I prefer
Cuba's a
watching a
mess.
flintlock duel.
It's a failing country, and they're going to be next. Within a short period of time, it's going to fail. And we will be there to help it out. We'll be there to help our great Cuban Americans out who were thrown out of Cuba. In many cases, their family members were mutilated and killed by Castro. Well, Cuba's going to be next, yeah.
There's a report that the U.S. is going to let a Russian oil tanker go to Cuba. Is that true?
Well, we have a tanker out there. We don't mind having somebody get a boatload because they have to survive. It wouldn't bother me.
That report is true as far as you know.
Well, I would say, I told them if a country wants to send some oil into Cuba right now, I have no problem with it. Whether it's Russia or not, what? Doesn't help him. Why? He loses one boatload of oil. That's all it is. It's fine. If he wants to do that, and if other countries want to do it, it doesn't bother me much. It's not going to have an impact. Cuba's finished. They have a bad regime. They have very bad and corrupt leadership. And whether or not they get a boat of oil, it's not going to matter. I'd prefer letting it in, whether it's Russia or anybody else, because the people need heat and cooling and all of the other things that you need.
Yeah.
We want to go out right now. President Trump to Cuba. This is very good news for an island not any oil shipments now for 3 months. The impacts you see each day on the street, there are just less cars. Hospitals don't have power. Schools don't have power. Blackouts now go on for most of the day, if not for several days straight. So the Trump administration oil embargo, trying to force the Cuban government to open economically and politically, has had a major impact on people here. It's somewhat surprising that Russia has gotten a tanker full of oil to this island. President Trump has sort of brushed it off, saying it's only one tanker. It's not going to make a big difference. He still plans on targeting Cuba, targeting the government here. More oil is needed. They need more solar energy. They need to produce more oil here. Probably things that can't happen in the short term as this island and government run on fumes. But clearly, Russia trying to throw them a lifeline here, trying to provide some assistance. We'll see, though, Cuban government
for my partner.
can survive on what continue
But
to
I
be
guess
the
we'll
most
be up soon.
punishing pressure
I'll call you as
campaign
soon as we get
we've seen by the U.S. on this island in decades. A tanker with Russian oil has
All right. So, Pops.
Yeah.
Fuck we doing letting them have oil, man?
Huh?
Fuck we doing letting them have oil, dude?
I don't know. You heard him. It's only a fucking boatload.
It's not supposed to be no load, bro. There's supposed to be nothing over there.
But it's not our oil either. It's Russian oil.
Something with Russia. People like 2 days, and that's it.
2 days longer than they need.
Hey,
I think we're just trying not to start beef with Russia. I think it's because it's a Russian boat.
What do you mean? We've already had beef with Russia.
Hey, look, I think it also could be the fact because, well, yeah, we may have our beef with Cuba, but our beef's not with the Cuban people. And if you're going to overthrow a regime, you probably want to not have it look like you're starving them out of power and electricity and gas and all that. So,
yeah,
it's true, but you got to also ask yourself how much of that is really going to be seen by the regular people.
That's it.
Well,
Uh,
they'll be able to have lights for a couple of days.
Yep.
So, it is felt by the regular people.
It's funny. Some of those hospitals and stuff could have actual, more power going on, but they use those generators for other things. Those
Yeah.
those dawn hotels and concerts.
Yeah. Someone's little trip there. I can only stay in 5-star hotels because America said so.
Wait, did everybody else see the video of Lindsey Graham's weird Disney World trip?
What?
Oh yeah.
Who cares? It's weird.
Oh yeah, like he's sitting there watching the kids holding a princess scepter in his hand.
Dude,
He's
Lindsey
like,
Graham's fucked up.
bro, like he's a quality dude. We all know he's gay. Like that. What it comes down to is he just needs to be accepted. I think.
I don't know if he's gay or not, but he's fucking a weird motherfucker.
Hey, wait. You don't know if he's gay or not? Have you heard him? Listen, have you heard him talk?
Dude, I don't like Lindsey Graham.
I'm just saying. Just have you heard him just speak?
I try not to hear him talk.
Yeah, like that's. I think that's most people. But like, once you hear him speak, you hear it. Like, you hear. Ever since Mitch McConnell passed away, or not passed away, but whatever Mitch McConnell did, he really hasn't been. Son of a bitch. I gotta hang up the
across
phone.
the country, from Atlanta to DC and New York, seeing shrinking security lines. Houston's
Hold
George
on
Bush
just a second.
Intercontinental Airport, the epicenter of misery
Hold on
during the
just a
partial
second.
government shutdown,
This is just
falling
slightly
4 hour waits
misleading
last week to
because
mere minutes now.
the lines eased up before they got paid, and that was when they sent in ICE. However, I'm sure it does help getting more of the agents back from when they actually get paid and everything, but the lines initially eased up when they sent in ICE.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
A welcome surprise for weary travelers.
What were you expecting when you got here?
Oh my God, I came here like 8 hours before, and I came here, I didn't see anybody else.
Yeah, no, we're pleasantly surprised. As TSA officers return to the job, with many now seeing much needed relief in their bank accounts. After President Trump signs an executive order directing the Department of Homeland Security to pay TSA workers. The DHS secretary telling NBC in a statement, most TSA employees received a retroactive paycheck that included at least 2 full paychecks.
Jeez.
Adding a small population may experience a delay due to financial institution processing times or issues with their direct deposit.
With the prices of food, gas, everything going weeks without pay, no, it's definitely well deserved. So I'm glad to see that it's happening for them.
Thousands called out sick, and more than 500 officers walked off the job since the partial shutdown began in mid-February.
Obviously, that's a blow to the agency. I mean, you lose a lot of experience when you have that number of people leave. It's going to be hard to recruit good people.
The emergency checks, a fix for now, as the government shutdown in its 7th week drags on.
All we want is to be treated fairly and not to be part of a political process that's going to turn us into pawns and be used this way. Hopefully Congress can fix this problem on a permanent basis.
And of course, TSA officers are due for another paycheck in 2 weeks. That union leader I spoke to says he believes that they will be paid through this emergency funding if the shutdown drags on, but that if they are not paid, we could be right back in this situation with those very long lines yet again.
So 1 week and ICE already made an airport experience better. Not bad. Not gonna lie. And they didn't really do much. Arrested a few people, pissed a few people off, walked around an airport. I thought that was actually gonna have more issues than it ended up having.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it may have had a lot to do with just Kristi Noem.
What about her?
No, I mean, like, if you notice, ICE hasn't had any problems since she stepped down.
Oh well.
I don't think it has anything to do with that, honestly. But what I'm saying is, like, I think since all those incidents, they may have actually gotten like a hold on those people, and maybe brought them to a bit of sanity. Because I don't think I don't know, bro. I don't like having the idea of ICE being bad guys because guess what? Well, that's our border protection.
Well, border patrol is.
Well, you know what I mean. That's
separate,
that's
but
what.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm saying like, yeah,
they're the enforcement.
They're basically like border patrol for the airport.
All right.
Damn, bro, I spilled all the food I made. I made a hamburger with some bacon, and it fucking fell, and my dog got it. I'm so angry.
Your dog isn't.
My dog ate it, bro.
Yeah, I bet your dog's happy now.
Your dog's happy as fuck.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is, motherfucker.
Damn, they had Bruce Springsteen at the fucking No Kings rally. What the fuck?
Oh, I'm sure they had plenty of
Millions
like.
attended rallies across the nation voicing their opposition to the Trump administration's
What
policies.
the hell?
Organizers
They're
say
cheating.
it was the largest single day of nonviolent protests in modern American history.
Oh.
Here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
Across the country, from New York, Dallas to San Francisco, millions of people out for the No Kings protests. No ICE in our streets! Demonstrators calling out President Donald Trump and his administration's policies. In Minnesota, Bruce Springsteen performing Streets of Minneapolis.
On the streets of
State governor calling out the Trump administration for going too far with their immigration crackdown.
When democracy itself seems to be at risk, it was Minnesota who said, not on our watch.
Organizers say 3,000 separate rallies on Saturday marked the largest single-day demonstration in the nation. And it's not just big cities. Smaller municipalities, including Buffalo, New York, saw demonstrators taking to the streets.
It's time to speak up. I don't want to be a bystander to this.
Out west, crowds marched down the streets of San Diego. And in Los Angeles, there was isolated violence. Federal law enforcement deploying what appeared to be tear gas.
LA.
Outside a federal detention center, police ordering dispersals. The LAPD arresting 75 people.
Lindsay, President Trump has not commented on these latest rounds of protests. Now, last fall, Trump did say he is not a king. Lindsay?
Melissa.
Damn. Riveting. Well,
They still can't define why they claim President Trump is a king.
Most successful protest ever still don't have a king.
Well, because the reason why is because, well, I think the reason's obvious why, but at the end of the day, it's greatly exaggerated. I don't think dude, I wouldn't be running around saying no kings, and I hate Donald Trump. I just think he's a wannabe dictator. Not a king, but what I did find was funny was England having a no kings protest.
Right now, that is
to support
Oh, yeah.
America.
Australia did too.
Yeah, but the irony isn't it doesn't slap like it does for England because Australia technically doesn't have a king.
Oh, I see. You're bringing up the irony of it. Yeah, that's a very good point. That is a very good point.
I mean, Australia had a king. Australia had a king at one point, but then they left England.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like England of all people, bro. Like, if you have to have a balloon license, shut the fuck up. If you have to have a TV license, shut the fuck up.
Apparently, you don't have to have a meme license anymore. But
Wait, did they have a meme license in England?
Well, no, that was just a joke because they were sending police out to people for social media posts and everything. And now they aren't doing that.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, they actually do have TV licenses, though.
Oh, I know. They do actually have TV licenses.
Yeah, like that's fucking wild. But like, what is that though? You're just paying a cable bill? I don't.
Wait,
No,
hold on.
it's
I
an
just
extra fee
realized
on
this.
top of your
So
cable
now they're
bill.
trying to say Bondi, Vance, and Patel are kings.
Cool.
I'm confused. What are they? Who are they claiming is the king, and how?
No, this is obviously Game of Thrones has become the Battle of the Four Kings.
But it's also hilarious because did you know, Brendan? I'm sure you did. They paid for the permits to protest.
Yeah, like I did notice they got what was it? How many organizations with over 500? Was it how many billions of dollars?
Oh, I don't
Was
know.
it
It was a few.
No, like I'm saying, just recently, like they had, like this recent one was put together by I think like 4 or 5 groups. I don't know how many groups, but all together pulled together over $1 billion for the No King protests.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Where'd that $1 billion go?
That's a good question.
Yeah, like, and I want to know this. Like, I mean, granted, I'm all for, protests and whatnot. I'm all for bashing whatever leader you want, but I want to know where the money's coming from, and I want to know if it's a foreign government. Like, that's my main thing. Is like, the more I look at things right now, and I hate to say it, I feel like a lot of the issues are not, they're not grassroots. They're not being pushed by Americans. And I don't mean Israel either.
How bad?
Yeah, like I said before, I do 100% believe, I know I've spoken out against it before, saying, God damn it, I'm not that black. But I've spoken out against before. I do believe that there are Iranian interests involved in a lot of these protests right now. Like it wouldn't make sense for there not to be. I do believe there's also other hands in the pot, whether it's China, because look, like what correct me if I'm wrong, Slender, you especially, because you can find this out. Didn't we just uncover? And I believe this had to do with No Kings protest. That there's a lot of Chinese money being put into it. Like if you want to check that for me, I'd be grateful because I don't want to like my thing to freeze up again.
I actually haven't heard anything on that. Let me look into it real quick.
Yeah, please do, because it was just posted today, and they even gave a name of the person, and I think he's a professor at one of the colleges, but they've already determined money has been funneled into him. Maybe he's a professor at one of the colleges, or he's or he owns a tech company or something. I don't know, but I just saw it today. It was a Chinese guy.
Yeah, so there's apparently it's a $3 billion network of 500 activist groups behind the events, including radical socialist groups like Code Pink and the People's Forum. The biggest funder is Neville Roy Singham. He is apparently an American billionaire Marxist that lives in Shanghai, and he pours millions into these groups.
Yeah, this has become a thing now. Like it's now openly become a thing. I'm sure it's been a thing for a while, but call it like I'm gonna call it like it is. It's like I may have my opinions on things. I may have certain ideas about things, but I don't like it when foreign interests become a part of American politics, or even when it comes to civil unrest. it raises a big red flag for me.
This guy is interesting looking into him.
Yeah,
He
yeah. No, I
apparently
want to know.
echoes Mao. There's apparent thoughts of ties to CCP, but nothing proven. But he has been promoting pro-CCP narratives. Interesting.
Yeah, but like, see, those are the ones I would worry about the most, bro. The subtle knife slips between the ribs the cleanest. And what it comes down to is, I think now more than ever, and I have to apologize because I know I've talked shit to Chris about things like this. I'm sure I've said something to you, Slendy. Like, I'm sure you brought up something similar to this before where I reviewed it. But no, like, now that I have proof, or we're seeing proof, I'm a lot more cautious about these, opinions when it comes to these protests and things like that. I think we're starting to see that it's not George Soros or whatever, it's other bad actors that are really taking center stage.
Mm-hmm. What the heck is that? Oh.
All right, what's next on our list here?
Are asking a judge to delay an upcoming hearing set for May.
Well, we're on the
Tyler
last
Robinson's
topic
legal
now.
team says they need 6 months to review the massive amount of digital evidence in the case. And they also made a new claim in the filing, saying the ATF was unable to match the bullet fragment recovered from the autopsy to the rifle that Robinson allegedly used in that attack. The attorney for the man
Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin. Now, remember, Tyler Robinson is accused of killing the right-wing activist at a campus event last September. But now his lawyers claim the fatal bullet may match the gun allegedly used in the crime. Carter Evans has that story.
It's been nearly 7 months since conservative political activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed during a Utah Valley University campus event on September 10th last year. Now, attorneys for Tyler Robinson, the man charged in Kirk's killing, are asking to delay his preliminary hearing to review a mountain of material they say could help his defense. In a new court filing, the defense claims in an ATF report summary that the agency, quote, was unable to identify the bullet recovered at autopsy to the rifle allegedly tied to Mr. Robinson.
Doesn't mean that those bullets aren't the same or that they aren't connected. It just means there isn't enough evidence there to come to a conclusion.
CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson says this is not unusual.
It is sometimes difficult to match bullets that were recovered at autopsy with bullets that are associated with a defendant's gun. And that could be based on lack of evidence and lack of markings on those bullets.
Robinson has been charged with aggravated murder in Kirk's death. He has not yet entered a plea. Prosecutors intend to seek the death penalty.
Robinson hid the gun and told his roommate to delete incriminating text messages.
Prosecutors allege Robinson admitted to killing Kirk in those text exchanges.
Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I am. I'm sorry.
Prosecutors also say they have DNA evidence that connects Robinson to the killing. Levinson says the inability to conclusively match the bullet won't necessarily damage the prosecution's case.
The prosecution has other evidence to rely on. This does not completely undermine their case.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Carter Evans.
So let's talk about bullets. Because I remember you guys had a whole thing about bullets earlier.
I'm just saying, a 30-06, 30-06 is, it's gonna punch through someone's neck like butter. Now,
what happens when it hits a bone?
I don't see if it can punch through a steel plate.
A 30-06?
Yeah, like in the distance in my backyard, if I shot a 30-06 at a half-inch steel plate or a quarter-inch steel plate, easily it's going to penetrate it.
You know what 30-06 is a hunting hunting round, right?
Exactly. No, exactly. But a 30-06 is also used in certain military sniper rifles as well. But like I said, this could definitely go through a quarter-inch plate, metal plate, at What was the distance? I need to know the distance.
The distance from the
Because I
shot.
can put to you like, yeah, from the
I think it
shooter's
was like
vantage.
250 yards.
50 yards. That's it.
250 yards.
250. You know, I'm not going to say anything for sure, but I know at about 100 yards, I could easily put that through a 1/4-inch steel plate. I've done, like, I have one in my backyard. I've literally almost punched through that with a literal shotgun rifled slug.
Huh.
Like, but a 30-06 at 250 yards, I can't say for sure, but I can say this much.
You can go through a 1/4 inch of mild steel at 100 yards.
That's why I'm saying I'm asking for honest answers here. Like, I don't know anything else off the top of my head when it comes to 250 yards and 30-06. I can tell you that 100 yards, you could do some serious damage to steel, and I'm saying you could easily punch through it. I feel like if it's not like, let's say it's not like level 4, level 3, or 3+. 3+ would be able to stop it pretty easily, I think.
Okay. What about a hollow type?
If it was a soft point, absolutely not. It's not he probably wouldn't have a neck.
Excuse me, I got that wrong. It was 142 yards.
142 yards. Now we're talking. Against bone, you'd have no problem. And if he was shot in the neck, bro, it's not like it's a 22. It's not going to hit a bone and ricochet around. If it's a soft point, though, a soft point or hollow point, like Slendy said, bro,
if it's a hollow,
you have a neck. You wouldn't have a neck or head. Like, even if you see what a soft point 300 blackout can do, it's fucking scary.
So are we buying that the bullet might not be there?
No, it might not be, but there's too many variables involved that are not being said right now. You feel me? But like, no, Slender brings up a good point. Like, I mean, he brings up a good point.
No, so the hollow points wouldn't cause like an explosion type of thing, like his neck to
hollow points go in small and come out huge.
Yeah, they pedal. It's not like an explosion, but I'm saying like it comes out with some sharp.
They deform to cause more damage, which is exactly how it ended up.
But here's the thing. You also bring up another good point by saying this. Well, if we can't find because if I'm correct, like, we have not found a whole bullet, right?
Well, that's the point. They break apart.
Yeah, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're saying, you're saying that it's a fragment, and
yes,
I'm gathering from that news thing, it's a fragment. So therefore, it's a soft point or hollow point. And if that is the case, if it was a 30-06, dude, if it's a 30-06, bro, that exit wound would be so massive. Like, I'm just saying, it would be a lot messier than we saw. If it was, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, something tells me that the idea of a 30-06 hollow point is not the round we're actually looking for. I think we're looking for more like, a 6.5 or maybe even a 2 or 5.56. Like, I don't know. I just don't see it being a clean kill like that with a 30-06 at 100 yards. It'd be a messy fucking kill, dude.
So go out, take a hunting rifle, go about 150 yards, and shoot a deer with a 30-06 hollow tip.
Look, I can get on this at some point soon. I can move the target out a few, like 50 more yards, and I'll see if I can grab a 30-06 from somebody.
And make sure it's hollow.
Yeah, no, like I will, because I want to know this, like,
because that's how the hollow rounds are supposed to work. Is they're supposed to mushroom up and cause internal damage. So not supposed to.
They pedal.
Right.
You're right. Like when we say mushroom though, right? I'm hearing soft tip. So like soft tip, like when that thing hits, it doesn't pedal out as much. It basically makes that molten ball of fucking like that wide ass fucking wound cavity. You know what I mean? But yeah, like there's it's something I'd like to look into. This is actually a good idea because, like I said, if I can punch, if a slug shotgun, rifled slug shotgun shell can punch through 1/4 inches of steel at about 100 yards almost. Like I'm saying, like, dude, I have a dent that you could literally stick like your whole finger in if the back went completely out at like 100 yards with a rifled shotgun slug.
Jesus.
So I'm assuming a 30-06 at about 100 yards would easily punch through that.
All right. Anybody else?
But it's very interesting though. Like this is something I'd like to actually know a lot about to determine this, because it does start to seem like, you know, other people were involved in this. I don't know who. Cough, cough. But yeah.
All right. Now we sound like Kansas.
No, like, bro, think about it like this. It's a pattern, dude. It's a pattern. Like, whenever you look at one of these public assassination kind of things, like, once again, you know, you have the problem at the center, right? You have the problem at the center, and you have all these other things that it could be. But when you look at all those things, you start to realize the obvious answer doesn't make sense. And like, whenever I notice that triggers something in my brain.
How does the obvious answer don't make sense when you have a kid that went there with the rifle too?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But also, but let me ask you, what happened when Lee Harvey Oswald went with a rifle and he supposedly shot John F. Kennedy?
He probably did.
No, he probably was sent there. He was probably sent there to go do it.
Okay.
But guess what? There's a reason why he was killed right afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a very common thing.
That shot JFK?
Yeah, dude.
He was killed by a guy named Ruby, like fucking.
Yeah. He was. So what I'm saying is this, and there were multiple people.
I have to get going. This has been a thrilling conversation on this. We can get into it more later on. But I think we pretty much hit
the last topic, so that we're good here.
All right. I think we got the meat of this thing here is I'm sure more forensic evidence will prove things, but Brandon,
I'm sure it will.
I really do suggest you go out and you go out with a 30-06 with Hollow and actually do some testing. If you have if you have the availability, get a ballistic gel to test with.
That's exactly what I feel like we would need, like one of those torso ballistic gel things.
Because if you know what it does in soft tissue, that it mushrooms up, you know what it would happen when it would hit bone too, right? After mushrooming.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at 100 now, you're bringing up a good point, but I feel like at 100 yards, that velocity, bone doesn't matter with that kind of round. Like I'm just saying, at that distance, I don't think bone would stand up to it very well.
All right. Well, I'm gonna leave it here. So have a good night. We'll be back on Thursday. Hopefully.
No, monkey. You're going nowhere
we're doing
right now.
Are we doing Thursday?
Me and Rick are having a genuine talk right now. We're having a genuine talk.
If there's enough.
As somebody who's lived through it, I don't know how old your dad is, but I don't know. It seems like he saw the Kennedy assassination on TV as a kid.
No, actually, I was born about 7 or 8 months late. I was born in January of '63. Actually, I was only a few months old when that happened.
No, but so Slender, if you I don't know if you're gonna get going or not, but
I do have to get going.
Yeah. I don't want to. You don't have to sit around and listen to me. Yo, what is my dog doing?
Oh yeah, if you guys are just still sitting around hanging out, then
yeah, I just wanted to talk to him about it because Rick, when I looked into this, there was three people.
Take care.
You have a good night.
All right, Doc, chaps and chapettes, thank you all for joining. I hope you all take care. And yeah, Doc, like I said, he's kind of a bit of a conspiracy theorist, so he kind of gets like that at times. If you watch the rest of the episode, you'll see what I'm talking about, or even previous episodes that he's partaken in. But that is why he is our local Reddit tier conspiracy theorist. Otherwise, I hope you all take care, have a good night, have a good day, have a good morning, whatever it is for you, because it is time for me to say goodbye.
Pinky ring. Pinky ring. Pinky ring. Bus stop bench. Same old blocks with a royal flex. You get me? Yeah. Pinky ring. Bus stop bench. Pinky ring. Bus stop bench. Same old blocks with a royal flex. You get me? Came from the bit same corner shop. Card decline, had to count that coppers. Now I'm sipping Earl Grey out of China cup, arguing about stocks with the local shotters. Mad ting, trackies on, but the coat got tailoring. Bus pass, but the scent smell Parisian. Council flat, but the view look Mayfair. Silver spoon dreams in the plastic kitchen. Tea in the end still classy. Mud on the crepe still classy. Yeah, chat too rough still classy. Knife and fork with a patty. Tea in the end splash saucy. Grew in the rain came glossy. Yeah, talk that grease move ghastly, but I stir my pain like pass me the glass, G. Pass me the glass, G. Copper on the block, but I walk like Wimbledon. Proper little sir when I send man home. Queen's English when I cuss man's wig. Kindly remove your fraudulent tone.